Okay, so hey there guys. So welcome to another lookbook video. I actually took a down day today because after yesterday when I went out with my friend, I just woke up so tired this morning. I was supposed to see my boyfriend, but I was like, I'm sorry, I'm just really tired. So I went to Sephora and I went to go get food for myself. I visited my coworkers too in the mall that I work at because the mall that I work at is like 5 minutes away from me, and there's a Sephora there, so I go there literally all the time. And before I tell you guys what my makeup look is, I realized that I do wear this shirt a lot. Excuse me, in my makeup lookbook videos, but that's because it's like one of my most comfortable shirts. It's not like I wear this out anywhere except for like wearing it around the house, so like I don't have to wash it all the time. So don't think that this is like a shirt that I wear out all the time, because it's not, because that would be gross. So, but I wore it in like four of the after looks or whatever, like when I was telling you guys if I didn't have enough time one day to film the clip earlier, I'm wearing this shirt in like every clip. So it's not what I wear on a daily basis, but it is one of my favorite shirts to wear around the house. So anyway, I primed my eyes with the Colourpop Party Proof Primer, and then I used the Amico Lip Oil, of course, and then I set my eyes with the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Powder, and then I used the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette again today, because originally I was going to do a first impressions on the Blendbunny palette, but since I wasn't going to my boyfriend's today, I just felt like using this again, and I'm just going to do a first impressions on the Blendbunny palette tomorrow. So I used the shade Mesh in the crease, then I darkened up the crease more with Tender, and then I used Silhouette on the outer corners, and then I used the shade Filigree all over the lid today. So now I have 1, 2, 3 shades to use, and then I will have tested out all the shimmers. I am enjoying my time with this palette. When I finish my looks with Natasha Denona, then I really love how it turns out. It's like, I feel like it's going to be boring, but then when I actually finish my looks, it really does turn out beautiful. So, and then I just used Fair on the brow bone again. And then I used the shade Travertine on the inner corners. I thought it was going to be a little bit dark, but it actually turned out to be a really pretty, like, sheer, like, taupey silvery shade. It was actually really pretty. So that's everything I used from the palette today. And then I also just went into the Blendbunny Cosmetics palette, and I just used a touch of one of the shimmer shades on the inner corners. So I just wanted to use the shade Memories, this shade right here. I used that on the inner corner as I'm pointing to the outer corner. And then I wanted to brighten the brow bone a little bit more, so I just went in with the shade Brighter Days. So I will be doing a full look with this tomorrow. So that will be my eyeshadow palette for tomorrow. And then for my liner, I just used my LA Girl brown liner as always, because I use that liner all the time. And then I used the Essence Lash Primer, of course. And then for my mascara, I just went in with my Tower 28 mascara again. And then I just used the Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. So, and then for my face, I just filmed a haul video, but it should be easy to find the stuff that I use. So I just primed my face with the Do It Spray and then the Say Star Glow Super Gel Primer. And then for my tinted moisturizer, I went in with the Fenty Beauty Easy Drop Blurring Skin Tint in the shade 1. I went and returned the stick foundation today and exchanged it for a couple of other things. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to get, but I just know that I didn't like the stick foundation. But I wanted to see how I feel about this still, even though it has been one of my favorite products for a couple of years at this point. But it still holds up. It's such a good skin tint. It looks so beautiful throughout the day as well. So this one I definitely love 100,000% more than the stick foundation. So I guess stick foundation just aren't for me anymore. I don't really know. I just did not like that one. And then for my concealer, I just went into the Tower 28 concealer again. This is the Tower 28 Um, Serum concealer in the shade 1.0, which is the lightest shade. I think this is the second time I've used it or the third time. I can't remember if it's the second or third. I know I did a first impressions on it. I think it was Thursday. No, Wednesday. So maybe it's only the second time. I'm probably going to go in with this one again tomorrow as well, but I've been really enjoying it. And then I set my under eyes with my Becca powder, and then just set my face with the Colourpop Pretty Fresh powder. And then for my bronzer, I just went in with the Colourpop bronzer stick again. I can't find it in my bag right now, but you guys have seen it like a million times. I used the cream bronzer stick in the shade Laguna Beach, so I just used that to bronze up my skin. And then for my blush, I wanted to go into the Bare Necessities palette by Blendbunny again. And I went into one of the lighter nude tone shades, and it was actually really pretty. So I went in with the lightest blush in the palette besides the pink, which is the shade Just a Touch. And this was a really, really nice blush. It really was just a touch of color. Like, this is the perfect name for it. And it was a really pretty blush color. So tomorrow I'm probably going to use the shade Baby Girl because I want to test out the pink shade. But I'm probably just going to be using this blush palette for the next few days because I am actually really enjoying it. I find this more exciting to test out these blushes than it is to test out these neutral eyeshadow palettes. And then even though I love neutral palettes. And then for my highlight, I just used the highlighter that was in front of me, but I've been wanting to use this one again for a while anyway, so I just went in with my Nabla Skin Glazing Glass Skin Finish Glow Powder in the shade Ozone. It's such a long name. Y'all know how much I love this highlighter. It's one of my all-time favorites, and I've used this so many times, but it's such a stunning highlighter. And then I just set my face with my Do It spray again, and then I used the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I went in with, again, one of my Lawless lipsticks because I absolutely love these. So this is the shade Fawn. I'm so tempted to pick up more shades because I absolutely love this formula, but for some reason I can never get this down in the tube. I don't know why. It's so bizarre. Like, I always have to like twist it down. The other one I don't have that issue, but I just keep these two in front of me because I use them so often. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there guys. So I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. It's probably going to be a lot of clips and then me telling you my makeup look. Look, I'm wearing a different shirt though. So I primed my eyes with the Colourpop Party Proof Primer and my Ami Colé lip oil. I just used that on my lips, of course, and then I just used the Colourpop Pretty Fresh powder as per usual to set my eyes. And then for my eyeshadow palette, I decided to go in with the brand new Blendbunny Cosmetics Forget Me Not Eye and Face palette. So I used this on my eyes today. I do have a full video on this look. Like, even if I forgot to record this, I have a full video on it. So I finally used a new palette today. Probably going to be just using this palette and the Natasha Denona palette a couple more times this week. Sorry, not sorry, but they are the newest palettes to my collection, and I like testing out all the shades. So for my crease, I wanted to go in with the shade A Moment first, but it wasn't quite dark enough. So honestly, like, I feel like a lot of the looks in this palette are going to lean very cool toned, unless I go in with like some of these browner shades. So honestly, like, I wish that there were a couple more warmer tone browns in here, because I understand it's supposed to be a versatile eye and face palette, but she also said in the caption that she wanted this to be like your go-to neutral palette. But honestly, like, I'm not really feeling all of the gray tones, but I really, really enjoyed the blendability of the mattes, and the shimmers were beautiful. I'm not denying it's still a wonderful formula. I just really feel like it's a very cool toned palette, even more cool toned than the Natasha Denona palette, because there are a couple of warmer tone mattes in the Natasha Denona palette. And also, like, if this is supposed to be like a versatile eye and face palette, like, there's not really any like blush tone shades in here that I would use. Like, for a blush, I can use all 4 of these as a highlighter. Like, the highlighter selection in this and the shimmer shadows, top notch. I think that these are a beautiful selection of shimmers. These shimmers I would use on a daily basis if this was just a more downsized eyeshadow palette. But I feel like with the 2 blacks, definitely, like this row, perfect. I think the deepening shades in here are great. It's just like these 4 shades of gray. I don't know why she put so many grays in here. Like, I'm gonna have to see a look created with those, because they're all very similar tones. So anyway, so I went in with a moment first. So I just decided to set my whole eye with it and use it on my brow bone because it was just too light to use in the crease. I wish that just this shade was a bit darker, to be honest. Or we could have gotten like a row of pink and maybe did like a slightly darker pink, not something too hot pink, but more like blushy tone, like mauve-y almost, as like the second shade in this row. I feel like that would have been more needed than doing like a bunch of gray shades, but I didn't make the palette. And I still bought it, obviously. And then I went in with Anticipation in the crease, and then I darkened up the crease more with Picture Perfect, and then I used Unforgettable on the outer corners, and then I wanted to use the shade Butterflies all over the lid, and then I just went in with a moment again, like I said, on the brow bone. And then for the lower lash line, I just went into the shade Anticipation again, and then for my inner corners, I went in with the shade Cheers. So that's everything I used from the palette. I just think that most of the looks that I do with this are going to be very cool tones. So it is what it is. It still performs beautifully. I really do like how the mattes weren't too pigmented, but they blended up. They built up beautifully. I'm sorry, I'm very tired today. Me and my boyfriend did quite a lot today. And then for my waterline, I just used my LA Girl liner, of course, in brown. And then for my mascara, I just used the, I don't even know where it is right now, but I just used the Ilia Limitless Lash Mascara. And then for the bottom lashes, I just used my Lash Discovery as per usual and the Essence Lash Primer. And then for my face primer, I used the Do It spray, of course, and then I went in with a new primer. I picked this up from Sephora. So this is the Rare Beauty Illuminating Primer, and I already really like this. So that was really nice. And then for my tinted moisturizer, I accidentally put it away, but I just used my Rare Beauty Skin tinted moisturizer, and it's just the lightest shade, and it looked beautiful with the primer. I just wanted to use both of them together for the first time that I used this, and I loved the combo. It looked so pretty. And then for my concealer, did I put it? Oh, it's right here. Duh. I just used the Tower 28 concealer again. I really have been enjoying this concealer. So this is the Serum Concealer in the shade, just the lightest shade. I really like it. It's really nice, very creamy, it has beautiful coverage. I have nothing negative to say about it. It's a beautiful concealer. And then I set my under eyes with the Becca Hydro Mist powder. I'm trying to use it up. I'm almost done, but I've just been keeping this in front of me so I can use it up. So there's really like a quarter, not even a quarter of it left. So hopefully I'll be able to use that up in the next month. And then I set my face with the Colourpop Pretty Fresh powder, of course, which I just wanted to show you guys my progress on my second one, because I use this powder almost every single day. Like, look at that. Isn't that crazy? I might have to order another backup soon because I freaking love this powder and I go through it like water. Oh, it's so good. And then for my bronzer, what did I use for bronzer today? I just went in with my Colourpop matte bronzer. because I wanted to use this because, again, I'm trying to hit pan on this as well. These are all products that I don't overwhelm myself to hit pan or use up, because this is literally the only products that I goaled myself to hit pan on this year. And I'm making good progress. I think I'm almost there. I can see the... Oh my fucking god. I can see the indent on the bottom. Where did that just go? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then... Sorry. It's late. It's like 12:45 at night. And then for my blush, I went in again with the Bare Minerals, because it says Bare Necessities. The Blendbunny Cosmetics Bare Cheeks palette. I really have been enjoying these blushes a lot. I really am enjoying my time testing out this palette, and I used the shade Baby Girl because I really wanted to use the pink today. So now I've used this shade, and this shade. They're all so good. I'm obsessed with this palette. It's really, really good. So I'm so happy that I got this. Like I said, I think I'm more into the blush palette than I am the eyeshadow palette, base palette. And then for my highlight, I went back into the palette and I just used the shade Butterflies, the same shade I used on my lid, which I usually don't do. But since these are versatile and the highlighting formula is really, really beautiful in here. Very, very creamy. But the thing is that they don't really pick up on a brush too well for like the first use. I feel like you have to kind of pick it up a bit more. I mean, for the experience that I've had with my Colourpop highlighting brush, it hasn't picked it up too well. So I just go in with my finger and then I just blend it out with the brush, and then it looks beautiful. So I don't really know what the issue is. And then I just set my face, of course, with the Do It spray again, and then I just used my Colourpop Brow Boss Gel. And then for my lips, I don't know where I put it, because I just threw it in my bag earlier because I thought I was going to use it. But I went in with, oh, there it is. I'm probably going to just put this next to me because I might use this as like an alternative to the Amico Lay lip oil, but I love that lip oil so much. I went in with the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm, and this is the lightest shade. Again, I don't know why they don't list the shade. I need to go, but yeah, I just went in with that. I was gonna go in with a pinkier tone lippy, but the shade I picked was a little bit icy. So yeah, I gotta go because I'm going to the city tomorrow, so I need to go to sleep soon. So bye. Okay, so hey there guys, I wanted to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I'm pretty tired right now. I did go to the city today, New York City. Every time I say the city, I always assume that people just know it's New York City because it's the most famous city in the US and pretty much the world. But I haven't been to the city in quite a while. Like, when you live in Long Island your whole life, you can just only take too much of the city, but I hadn't been in like months, so I think this is the first time I went this year, to be honest. So me and my friend really wanted to do a museum day, and I was asking him like which can I speak? Oh my god, which museum do you really want to go to? He's like, I don't know, I'll look, because, you know, there's so many different options, God almighty, in the city. So, he said that he's only been to the Museum of Natural History once, and that's it. He's literally never been to any other museum. He's very sheltered, but, I was like, if you've never been to the Metropolitan Museum, we kind of have to go there. And I've been a few times. I think I've been about 4 or 5 times at least. I know I went once with my boyfriend. I went once with one of my other friends a couple of years back. And I think I went once with my family. So this maybe was, and I think I went with my other friend at another point. So this might have been like the 4th or 5th time that I've been there, at least the 4th time. But I've been there a couple times before, but I was like, if you've never been there, I was like, we have to do it. I'm like, it's my favorite museum. I mean, I've been to a couple of other museums in the city, but I don't even remember the Guggenheim or the Whitney. So, and I've been to both of those. I do really like the Guggenheim as well, from what I remember. I think we went to the planetarium there. I think me and my boyfriend went there. I can't even remember. And the Whitney, I don't even remember who I went with. I think I went with my other friend. I think I do remember that too, actually. So, yeah, anyway, it was a great day. We spent like 5 hours there. We tried to get there before 12, but if you're a Long Islander, you have to take the train around like 10 in order to get into the city by like 11:30. So I had to get up like 8:45 to get ready, so I could be ready by 10 because I had to do my makeup. So anyway, I primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer. And then I used the Amicole lip oil, and then I set my eyes with my Urban Decay Stay Naked powder. And then for my eyeshadow, I went in with the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude eyeshadow palette again, because I'm still testing out this palette. So I think I've used 6 of the shimmers at this point. I still have this shade and this shade to use. So I went in with Stone first. Then I darkened up the crease more with Tender, and then I used Silhouette on the outer corners. And then for the lid, I went in with the shade Delilah, and it was a really pretty, like, sparkly, silvery shade. And that's all I used from the palette because I actually highlighted with a different shade. And then I used a bit of Fair on the brow bone again. And then for the rest of my look, I went in with the Blendbunny Cosmetics palette, and I used one of the shades in here for my inner corner highlight. I went in with the silver shade. Oh my god, it's so hard to hold this palette without denting the shadows. So I used the shade Memories right here. And then I just brightened up the brow bone a bit more with the white shade Brighter Days. Like I said, I feel like I'm going to use that shade a lot. That's all I used from this palette. And then for my waterline, I think I put it in my purse, but because I thought I was going to use it a bit more. And I didn't put, why can't I put anything away? I didn't put, eyeshadow on my lower lash line, but my mascara transferred a little bit. But I love that mascara, that I don't really mind it. But it just got a little bit messy underneath my eyes. But everything else looked pretty good throughout most of the day. Like the Lancome foundation held up really well. And then I used my Essence Lash Primer. And then, like I said, I used the Valentino mascara. Like I said, it did transfer a little bit underneath. I don't know why. And then I just used the Lash Discovery, of course, on my bottom lashes. And then for my face, I primed with the Do It Spray, as always. And then I went in with the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. And then for my foundation, I think it was a good thing that I repurchased this foundation during the Sephora event, because the last time I wore it, I think it did irritate my cheeks because I think it is expired. So I just bought a backup of my favorite foundation, and this is the Lancome Teen Idol Ultra Wear. It lasts such a long time. And I got it in the shade 120N this time, and this one expires in November of 2024, so I'm good for now. I mean, it's only a year and 3 months, but whatever. It's fine. I'm glad that it actually has the date and the month on it. Really, really helps me. And then for my concealer, I just went in with my tried and true, which is my Tarte C Hydroflex Concealer in the shade Porcelain Sand. This is actually a new one of this as well. So these are both brand new. I got this during the Sephora sale back in April when they were discontinuing the C line from Sephora. It was super duper cheap, so I bought a backup of that. And then I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath powder, of course. And then I just set my face again with the Urban Decay powder. And then for my bronzer, I just went in with my Pat McGrath bronzer today in the shade Naked Desire. Just felt like using it, so I just went in with that. And then for my blush, I went in again with the Bare Cheeks palette by Blendbunny. Again, I really have been enjoying this palette, and I think I've used the whole first row of blushes, and I went in with the shade Love Me today, which was like a really interesting shade. I don't think I really own any blush shade that is remotely like this color. It's like a very cool tone light purpley shade, and I really liked how it looks. So yeah, I really have been loving this palette. So probably will use a different palette tomorrow though, because some of the shades are a bit vibrant in this palette to use for tomorrow, and I'm just seeing my boyfriend tomorrow. And then I just highlighted my, for my highlight, I used the Jaclyn Cosmetics loose highlighter in the shade Extra. I mean, I really do love this highlighter. She used to make really good products when she first started out, and the highlighters that she made are some of my all-time favorites, and then she kind of went downhill after that. And then I set my face with my Milk makeup spray, of course. I don't even remember setting my face this morning. I really don't. I probably did, but I don't remember. And then I just set my brows with my e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I went in, of course, with my Pat McGrath Labs liner in the shade Structure. And then for my lips, I went in with the Halsey About Face Matte Painted Lip Color in the shade Slumber. I'm so freaking tired, you guys. Like, so tired. And then after we went to the Met, we actually took a break around like 2:30 because we started to get a little bit hungry, because before that I didn't eat since like 9 in the morning. So we got hungry, and we also needed to pee and whatever. So we went to go in the museum, and we just grabbed like a little bit of lunch, because the food in the museums are really, really good too. And then we went and did all the other exhibits that we wanted to do. We just needed to sit and eat because we were getting hungry. And then we left the museum around like 4:50ish because they close at 5. And then we found somewhere to eat nearby. We went to this Italian place called the Lex Cafe, and it's basically right on Lexington Avenue. And it was delicious. So good. And then after that, like, me and my friend were trying to find like shops to go to, but honestly, everywhere was closed because it's a Sunday night. So then we just decided to head home. We were going to go to a bar, but I feel like we were just so tired at that point. It was like 7:45. I was like, maybe we should just go back home. Like, he was tired too. So we're like, yeah, let's just go home. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. So today's look is going to be from yesterday, because, I mean, let me tell you guys about yesterday's look. I'm a little bit nervous today because I have to talk to my dean later about jobs and stuff. So I'm going to talk to my sister before that. So, because she's trying to help me out with everything. So yeah, I just went to my boyfriend's yesterday. So I primed my eyes with my Colourpop Party Proof Primer. It is such a tongue twister to say that. And then, of course, I used the Ami Colé lip oil, and then I set my eyes with the Colourpop Pretty Fresh powder. And then for my eyeshadow palette, I wanted to go into the Blendbunny Cosmetics Forget Me Not palette again. Just because I can't use the Natasha Denona palette every single time because it gets a little bit repetitive. And I wanted to go into this palette again, obviously, because I've only used it once. So let me just, and I'm sorry that I'm not wearing the look again. I just like have been doing a lot of stuff that I just want to get out of the house and get going. So for my crease, I went into the shade Room Service, and this shade actually built up really, really nicely. So it looked really good in the crease. And then I thought it was going to be like just as light as this one. And then for the definition, I went in with Picture Perfect. And then for my outer corners, I just went in with Unforgettable. But like I said before, besides like those 3 tones, everything else is pretty much overall very cool toned. So I'm gonna try and do like something a little bit more cool tone. Like I'll probably use this shade Remember next time, and then like probably the warmer tones again, and then the last look I'll do is probably with all the cool tones, and then I'll use the silver. But besides that, this is not really my perfect neutral palette at all, but the quality is so good, and every time I do finish my looks, I really do like how they look, because the mattes just look so pretty on the eyes, and they blend so well. So it was worth me getting, but again, I would probably just change like 1 or 2 colors in here. Like I probably would just change one of these grays to a warmer tone brown that was like a little bit lighter than this Anticipation shade. And then I think it would have been a better palette. So, but it's fine. I still think the quality is fantastic. And then for my lid, I went into the shade Magical this time, and it was such a pretty warm gold shade. It looked so good on the eyes. And then for my brow bone, I always go into this shade, and this is a really good brow bone highlight. This is the shade Brighter Days. So I used that. And then for my inner corners, I just went into the shade Cheers, and that's everything I used from the palette. And it still was a really, really pretty look. So the shimmers are just so smooth and easy to apply. And the mattes just blend so well. So that's what Blendbunny is known for. And then for my liner, I believe I went into my LA Girl Nude liner, because I finally found this one in my drawer of hell over here. I mean, my bin of hell where I keep all like my everyday makeup goodies. I really need to organize it. And then I prime my eyes with my lashes with the Essence Lash Primer, of course. And then I use the Wet n Wild Big Papa mascara, because I haven't used this one in a little bit, so I wanted to use it today. Yesterday. And then for my bottom lashes, I just use my Lash Discovery as always. And then for my primer, I went in with the Do It spray from Fourth Ray Beauty, of course. And then I used my Rare Beauty illuminating primer again, because I wanted to go in with this again, and I really, really like how this primer looks on my skin. It's beautiful, so I really have been enjoying that. And then for my tinted moisturizer, I wanted to go into my Cali Ray Free Dreaming Skin Wellness Diffusing Tint. This is such a beautiful tinted moisturizer. It not only, I think I might even like the coverage of this just as much as the Urban Decay one. I was going to say I might like it even more. But with the Urban Decay one, it can be a tad bit thick on the skin because it does add a decent amount of coverage. But this, it adds like more coverage, but it's so thin in formula and such a watery consistency. This is like one of the most interesting water-based tinted moisturizers I've ever used, because usually water-based tinted moisturizers don't have this much coverage, but this has beautiful coverage, and it's so hydrating on the skin, and it just looks so beautiful. I'm so obsessed with this. And now I understand why everybody was raving about it, because it's such a good product. So if you don't want something that's like super light tinted moisturizer coverage, I would go with this. I freaking love this product. It's so good. And then, of course, I went in with the Tower 28 concealer. Again, this is the serum concealer. I really have been liking this a lot. This might be one of my top favorite concealers lately, besides the Makeup Forever one. This one is really, really good. Like I said, I have not met a Tower 28 product I don't like. They make fantastic products, and like I said, they're one of my favorite brands in Sephora. So anything that Tower 28 comes out with, I am there trying it, and I could not wait for them to come out with a concealer, and it's banging. I love it so much. And then for my powder, I went in with my House Labs powder, because I wanted to see how it looked with the Tower 28 one, and it looked beautiful. This actually looked really nice under the eyes, and it did not make it crease, because usually this, it's not really a setting powder, it's more of a blurring powder, but it looked so good. So I'm glad I used that. By the way, I cannot wait for the Haus Labs concealer to come out. I missed the soft launch on Sephora, on the Sephora app, because by the time I saw the story that it was only available on the app today, the shade that I wanted, I had already sold out. So, but I understand that like a lot of people were anticipating that concealer. And then for my bronzer, I just went in with my Colourpop bronzer stick in the shade Laguna Beach. This has just become an everyday staple for me. I love this cream bronzer, so I just used that. And then for my blush, I wanted to go into the LYS blush again. I didn't want to use the Blendbunny palette again. I really, really like it, but I just wanted to use something that's still new and that I haven't used more than once. So this is the Higher Standard Satin Matte Cream Blush in the shade Kindness. This is such a good cream blush. This might be like my second favorite one besides the Makeup by Mario. It goes on beautifully. This one's a little bit less pigmented, but it goes on just amazingly. I love it so much. And then for my face highlight, I literally just went in with the same shade that I used on the lid from the Blendbunny palette. I just used it as a face highlight, and it looked so pretty. So I really like the shimmer shadows in there as highlighters and as lid shades. They're really beautiful. And then for my brows, I just went in with my Colourpop Brow Blush Gel as per usual. And then for my lips, it's in my Poise. There it is. I just went in with my NYX Fat Lip Oil. So this is the NYX Fat Lip Oil in the shade Follow Back. I just wanted to use something to hydrate my lips because I wanted to just get out of the house at that point. And yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. So I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I did film that clip earlier today for the last look that I told you guys about yesterday's look. I still filmed that clip today because I didn't have time to film it yesterday. But anyway, today, yesterday, anyway. Again, rhyming Caitlin is at work. So I decided to do a colorful look today because I was going out with my friends to see the movie Blue Beetle, and it was actually really, really funny. It was really good. I liked it a lot. Very entertaining. Not my all-time favorite movie, but it was very good. Definitely recommend it if you guys were planning to see it. So I primed my eyes with the with the Anastasia eye primer, and then I used my Amicole lip oil, of course. I don't know why I have a ring on my lips. That's a little weird because that usually doesn't happen with this lippy. That looks a little weird. Okay, that's better. And then I set my eyes with my Urban Decay powder. And then for my eyes, I wanted to combine two Colourpop palettes today because I haven't used Colourpop in like 2 weeks, and I'm getting like annoyed that I haven't. And I really love how this look turned out. This might be like my favorite look that I've done in a little while. I just think it looks so pretty. So I finally combined my Tinkerbell palette and the In the Limelight palette together by Colourpop. I've been wanting to combine these two palettes for so long, so I finally did. So I mostly used the Tinkerbell palette, but I did use a couple of shades from this palette as well. I just used one shade from this palette in the crease. I just literally put both inserts in this palette, so go me. So I just used the shade Miami in the crease here, and then I just used the Tinkerbell palette for the rest of the upper part, and then I used a couple of the In the Limelight shades on the lower lash line. So then from the Tinkerbell palette, I just need to open it, sorry. I used the shade Sleep to define, and then I used Awake on the outer corners, and then for the lid, I went in with the shade Tink, and then I topped it with Pixie Dust. It looks so pretty. As much shit I talked about this palette, when I do actually use it, it is a beautiful palette. I just wish they would have gotten rid of these two neutral shades and put in like like a yellow for her hair, like a blonde yellow kind of shade, like a golden yellow. That would have been so beautiful. Then this palette would have been so much better for me, but I can't doubt that the quality is so good in this palette. So very, very pretty. And then for the lower lash line, I went back into the Limelight palette and I took the shade After Party and smudged that on the lower lash line. And then for my inner corners, I used Star Power, which is like my favorite, one of my favorite inner corner highlights like ever from Colourpop. It's just such a beautiful inner corner highlight. And those are the 3 shades that I used from this palette, because I have used this palette a little bit more than the Tinkerbell palette, because I haven't used the Tinkerbell palette in so long. But I was wearing my Tinkerbell shirt today, so I love how her face was like completely dysmorphed. So I really wanted to use the palette, obviously. And then for just that little twinkle on the, inner part of the lower lash line, I used the shade Small Fairy, and it just looks so pretty. And I really, really love how this look turned out. I think it's so pretty. How many times can I say so pretty? And then for my brow bone, I used the white shade from the Blendbunny Cosmetics Forget Me Not palette. I'm not going to open it right now, but I just used the shade Brighter Days, and it really is a beautiful brightening shade for the brow bone. And then for my waterline, I used the Colourpop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Aglow. I love this liner, and it's just a really pretty green, of course, to go with the whole look. And then I primed my lashes with the Essence Lash Primer. And then for my mascara, I just used the Valentino mascara, again, my favorite lately. And then for the lower lash line, I just used my Maybelline Lash Discovery as per usual. And then for my face, I primed with my Do It spray and then the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. Of course, I'm almost done with this one. I just have a little bit left. And then for my foundation, I think I'm going to get rid of this because I think it's very... I don't know how old it is, but I think it's too old for me to keep at this point because my skin feels so dry right now. And for the entire time that I was wearing it, it felt very dry, and it's definitely not holding up as well as it used to. I should have just bought a backup of this when I got the Lancome foundation. I should have just bought another one of these because this was also on sale during the foundation event last weekend, but I was like, I just wanted to see if this would work, but I knew that this foundation was older than the Lancome foundation, so I don't know why I didn't just buy both of them at the same time, but whatever. So I tried to use my YSL All Hours foundation in the shade B10 Porcelain, but oh, it says 0423. It says it on the bottom. So this is like 4 months old. So yeah, I'm going to get rid of this. I thought I would be able to wear it again, but it's just so dry around this area. I cannot wait to wipe my makeup off, or take my makeup off, I mean. And then for my concealer, I used the Makeup by Mario concealer again in the shade 120. I like it, but it does crease a lot underneath my under eyes, but I also think it's because of the foundation that I used, so I just don't think I can use it anymore. And then I set my under eyes with my Pat McGrath powder, and then again I set my face with my Urban Decay Stay Naked powder. And then for my bronzer, I just used the House Labs bronzer in the shade Light Level 1 just because I wanted to use it again. I feel like the H will fade at some point because I use it so much. And then for my blush, I used the Colourpop Super Shock Cheek from the Tinkerbell collection in the shade, oh my god, if I could get it out of here, that would be nice, in the shade Magic Moon. And this is a really beautiful peachy shade. I love this shade, and I always, am shocked on how long and beautiful the Super Shock blushes from Colourpop last. So I'm really happy I got to use that one again because I've been using a lot of, newer blushes that it's nice to go back to an oldie but a goodie. And then for my highlight, I used the Tinkerbell highlighter in the shade Happy Thoughts, but it wasn't quite enough highlight for me because y'all know I need to shine from the heavens. But it's a really beautiful, kind of more cool toned highlight. It's very pretty. But then I went over it with the Blendbunny Cosmetics Noctilucent palette. This always becomes my go-to, and also because it is right next to me. I used the shade Enlighten, which is usually the one I go in with a lot. It's this really beautiful, like, greenish gold highlighter. I can't even, like, show you properly in this lighting. I'm sorry. It's, like, blinding you guys. It's this shade right here. That's better. Sorry about that. But this is just, like, my old reliable palette because the formula of these are just so intense, and it just really just amped it up to make it even more sparkly, and it just looked so pretty. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Spray, of course, and then I set my brows with my e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lip liner, I used my Half Magic Beauty lip liner. It's literally right here. I thought I put it away. I used my Half Magic Beauty liner. I don't know why I said it twice. And I used the shade Hot Potato. And then for my lips, I wanted to go in with the Half Magic Beauty Lip Cloud. I'm so tired right now. The Mouth Cloud in the shade Mr. Cheeky Pants. I just wanted to use this one. It's such a pretty nude shade. So yeah, that's it. I finally said my makeup look with my makeup still on. I'm so accomplished, and I just scratched my face with my long ass nails. I cannot wait to get my nails done soon. So, but this is so pretty, but they definitely need to be done soon. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there guys. So I wanted to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I think it turned out really pretty. I've been wanting to do like this yellowy look with this shirt for a while. I haven't even worn this shirt this year yet. So this is my Stay Wild Moonchild shirt from Lucky. I love this shirt. So, and I also wanted to do it before my nails got done again because the yellow nails with the yellow shirt. So I was planning on getting my nails done tomorrow, so that's why I wanted to do this look today. So I primed my eyes with the Colourpop Party Proof Primer and then my Amico Lay Lip Oil, and then I used the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Powder, of course. What else is new? It's always the same. And then for my eyeshadow, I wanted to go in with my Colourpop Limoncello palette. So back-to-back Colourpop palettes the past 2 days, but I just was kind of missing using Colourpop, so, and I wanted to do my yellow look with this palette before August is over, so I used the shade Amalfi in the crease, then I darkened up the crease more with Tuscan Fun, and then on the outer corners I went in with Vespa, and then for the lid I went in with Serenade, which is such a beautiful like yellow shimmer, and then I used Blanc Type on the brow bone by MAC, and then for the inner corners I used Touring, which is such a stunning inner corner highlight, and that's everything I used from the palette. Just really pretty. This palette is still amazing quality. It's just one of my favorites from Colourpop, and it never lets me down. It just always looks amazing. And then I primed my lashes with my Essence Lash Primer, and I used my LA Girl brown liner, of course, for my waterline. And then for my mascara, I used my Amico Lay mascara, just one of my favorites still. And then I used my Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. Probably for the rest of the looks in the video, I think tomorrow is the second to last look, or maybe Friday, because today's Wednesday, so I'm not sure if this is the 5th look or the 6th look, but I'm probably just going to use either the Natasha Denona palette or the Blendbunny Cosmetics palette. But I did want to kind of just use a couple of palettes that I haven't used in a while, because I was kind of getting a little bit bored with the cooler tone neutral looks. They're not my favorite to do. If it was like a warm tone eyeshadow palette, I'd be all into it and probably use that for another week. But I do want to incorporate some other palettes before the summer is over. And then for my face, I primed with the Do It spray, of course, and then I used the Rare Beauty Illuminating Primer again. I really have been loving this. This is such an awesome primer. And then for my face, I wanted to go back into the Cali Ray Skin Tint again because I absolutely love this product, so I just really wanted to use it again. I missed using it, so that's why I've used it twice this week, because I just love it. So this is the shade 1, and I'm obsessed with it. It's just so good. And then for my concealer, I used the Tower 28 concealer again. This is the serum concealer in the shade 1.0. Again, you're probably going to be seeing this concealer a ton because I really have been loving it. It just sits right next to me in my drawer. And then I just set my under eyes with my Becca Hydro Powder. And then I just used my Colourpop Pretty Fresh powder, of course, to set the rest of my face. And then for my bronzer, I went into my Milani Dolce bronzer. Just wanted to use that. I wanted to use my cream bronzer from Tower 28, but it just takes too long to put on sometimes. And I want to get out of the house. So I just went in with a powder. And then for my blush, I finally went into the Clarity Cosmetics Honey Mustard blush again, because I knew I wanted to use this blush when I did this look, because doing a yellow look, I want to do a yellow blush. And again, these blushes are just so pigmented, like almost too pigmented, that like they are just as pigmented as like a really pigmented matte eyeshadow. So like you need like the tiniest amount, and it will literally apply to almost both cheeks. Like I literally just tap it like this, like literally on the surface, and it'll pick up so much blush. So just be mindful of that. And then for my highlight, I went into the Half Magic Beauty highlighter. It might not go amazingly, but when I shift, it just looks so beautiful. So I just wanted to use it today. I didn't feel like using a yellow highlighter. Also because when I usually go in with this look, I usually use the Winnie the Pooh highlighters from Colourpop, but I wanted to use this one. So this one is in the shade Light Trap Enter the Glow. It's just such a beautiful highlighter. And then I just set my face with my Do It spray again, and then I just set my brows with my Colourpop Brow Wash Gel. And then for my lips, I just went into the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm again in the Nude shade. Still don't know what that shade is called, but I just wanted something easy for the lips. So yeah, I gotta go. Bye. Okay, so hi. So I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. So I actually went and got my nails done, and then I went to Chipotle to get myself some lunch, and then I went to Ulta to just return that Benefit box highlighter that I really did not like, and I just exchanged it for a couple of things, nothing too crazy. I did get another one of my Colourpop backouts of my Colourpop mascaras, one of the yellow liners, and I did get a new lippy from another brand, and then I just got another one of my Aveeno foaming cleansers. So yeah, nothing too crazy. So I primed my eye. I'm tired now. I can't wait to sit and relax. So I ended up being out for like almost 2.5 hours, when I always try to like only stay out for like an hour and a half, and then I'm like, great, I was out for 2.5 hours. Because I was at the nail salon for an hour and a half. Oh yeah, so these are my nails. So I decided to get lime slice nails, and I think they turned out so cute. Like, look at that. Isn't that adorable? I hope you guys can see. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it. How cute is that? And then I did it on the top on this one. So yeah, I think this is the last look of this video. I'm not even sure. I forgot to check now, and then I forgot to film an intro and an outro. So I remember to film an intro, but not an outro. So anyway, I primed my eyes with the Colourpop Party Proof Primer. Let me just fix this a little bit, because the shimmer is kind of transferring. That's okay though, because it looks so pretty. Yeah, that's better. And then I used the Amico lip oil, of course, to soak my lips while I get ready, and then I set my eyes with the Colourpop Pretty Fresh powder. What else is new? I really am tired right now. Oh my god. And then I decided to go into the Bella Beauté Bar, the Sun and the Sea palette today, because I actually haven't used it in like a week or so, and I kind of want to get some more use out of it, especially before the summer is over, because I think this color story is just so beautiful for the summer. So I just went in with Sunbathe in the crease, then I darkened up the crease more with Overexposed, and then I used Bask on the outer corners, and then I went in with the shade Sunset again. It's such a pretty like pinky red, and I thought it went so well with the shirt that I'm wearing. And then I just popped on Sandcastle on the inner corners. It's such a pretty sparkly pinky shade. And then I used Tan Lines on the brow bone, and that's everything I used from the palette. But this is actually a palette that I want to go back into and use. Like, I'm not getting like super bored with it like I am with the Natasha Denona and the Blendbunny. This one sparks my interest and I want to use it as much as I can. So I might use this for work on Saturday too, and then use something else tomorrow and Sunday, because I think I'm going to use the Natasha Denona tomorrow because I do want to just finish testing out all the shades. And then for my liner, I just used my LA Girl brown liner, and then I just used my Essence Lash Primer. And then I just used my Tower 28 mascara to coat my lashes, and then I just used the Lash Discovery, of course, on my bottom lashes. This thing is like overflowing with products. And then I primed my face with the Do It spray, and then I used the Rare Beauty illuminating primer again. I really have been loving this primer. It just makes my skin look so pretty. So I really have been enjoying it. I've been reaching for this over the Say one. I still love the Say one, but this one is really good. I bet they're almost exactly the same though. And then for my face, I used the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer. This is the shade Fair 1N. One of my all-time favorites. It still looks so good. And I put this on like 4 hours ago and it still looks great. And then for my concealer, I used the Tower 28 one again. This is the Tower 28 Serum Concealer in the shade. This is the lightest shade, 1.0, I think. And I really have been enjoying this concealer quite a lot. Even if it creases, it still looks good. So, and then I just set my under eyes and my T-zone with the Becca Hydra Mist powder. And then I just used my Colourpop Pretty Fresh powder to send Pretty Fresh powder. That's not really a tongue twister. To set the rest of my face. I don't know why I had so much trouble saying that. And then for my bronzer, I just went in with the Colourpop matte bronzer in the shade Alviva Beach. I try to use this at least twice a week or almost 3 times a week. I'm almost done. I'm almost hitting pan with this, so hopefully soon. And then for blush, I decided to go into the Urban Decay Liquid Blush again because I wanted to get a little bit more use out of it. This is the Blush Glow Hydrator in the shade Wrecked, so I wanted to use that. It still looks really nice. I like it for like really light makeup days because it's not too pigmented, but it looks nice. It adds like a nice little flush of color, and I think it's really pretty on the skin. It's definitely my favorite liquid blush that I've ever used because I'm not really a huge fan of liquid blushes. And then for my highlighter, I used the Rem Beauty highlighter in the shade Miss Mercury. I still really love this highlighter. This is what I was kind of expecting that Benefit highlighter to be, is like not too intense, but it adds like a really pretty like silky lit from within kind of glow, but that one just didn't do anything, so that's why I returned it. But those ones are good. And then I actually went to Ulta so I could check out the new Rem Beauty foundation, but they didn't have it in my Ulta yet. I don't even know if they're getting it, but I didn't even bother to ask because I was actually kind of interested in getting it because I actually just decluttered my YSL foundation because that one is old, and I just bought a new one of my Lancome foundation, so we'll see. I mean, I don't really need another foundation right now. I kind of need to just use up what I have because I also repurchased this, and I have the Cali Ray tinted moisturizer. So anyway, and then for my brows, I just set them with my Colourpop Brow Boss Gel as always. And then for my lips, I just wanted to go into one of my ultra glowing lips from Colourpop. This is the shade Cockatoo. This is one of my favorite shades, and it's just, there's something about these that make your lips look so pretty. They really do. It's not a gloss. It's literally a glow on your lips, and it just makes your lips look so pretty and hydrated and juicy. Absolutely love the glowing lips. So yeah, that's it. I was going to wear the Tower 28 one though, but then I decided just to wear this one. So yeah, bye.